Soul Grows in Israel, a podcast where we ask the questions about ancient Jewish wisdom, modern life, and everything in between. So let's ask, let's have fun, and let's grow together. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of A Soul Grows in Israel. I am so honored to be joined by a friend, a community Rebbetzin, if I could, she doesn't need to Rebbetzin, but okay. Efrat Ziering, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
You're so gracious for coming here. This is not everyone's comfort level, and I think you have a lot to say, and I find your voice to be interesting. So I appreciate you stepping out of your comfort zone to join us and spread some light to our listeners wherever they are.
Amen.
Okay.
Sat Hashem.
Okay, I've heard some things. Okay. The first thing I've been hearing is you do this weekly lesson that I had the merit to join today, and I jotted down so many questions and ideas. But a lot of people in the community have been saying you need to join Efrat. She has a whole sheer study about Megirot, drawers. And I said, what does that mean? Well, it's organizing and what it means and what's happening. What's going on with my drawers?
Okay, so well, it really began. We were living in Tel Aviv, and I had, I think, 5 kids at the time. And Baruch Hashem had everything wonderful in life. Married, great husband, wonderful children, great apartment. And I just felt something in me was not like happy or satisfied. And I was looking for something a little bit more. And I bumped into a friend. She said, "You gotta come to class with me." And so I went to class, and I get to this class called Megirot. I remember that I had attended a class called Megirot when I was first married I used to go with my baby, Gila, to class. I was pregnant with Yishiel. And I loved it, and it stopped. So I was reintroduced to it. It's basically a way to get to learn our neshamas and what we're here for in this world, and to live within the realm of Hashem and see what's really going on in this world, and not get stuck in the outer layer of the physical.
Okay, so practically speaking, right? Let's just say there's someone who has, and I think there's a lot of symbolism, like how you treat, your closet or your home or your kitchen might resonate with what's going on in your head.
Right.
So, do you give people practical tools by cleaning up a drawer? Does that organize something inside of them internally?
Okay, so the drawer is basically like you're saying, everything in our physical life is a manifestation of something spiritually, emotionally that's going on inside of myself.
Yeah.
So our mind is made up of like many, 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 many files. And each file is another relationship or another way I view life, or we each have a lot of halakim. Each of us has a chelik eloki in us, a neshama. And this neshama, which is coming straight from Hashem, has many halakim in it, right? So just like Hashem has many names, Hamakom, Echad, Ohev, Rahman, Kadosh, Mediyak, right? Hashem is this great one being with many halakim. So too, our neshama is one with many halakim in it. So our mind has filed since we were born different different experiences we've had, how we view life, how I am with my friend, with my mother, with my father. Now, we learned from Shlomo HaMelech. There's a story that Shlomo HaMelech was walking, and he sees a garden that's overgrown. And I don't know the exact pasuk, but he says, "Chaval that this garden could have been so beautiful, and it looks like this." And Rav Avigdor Miller explains that Shlomo HaMelech was talking about our mind, that a human being comes to this world and his mind could be a beautiful garden. He could live in a Gan Eden. But unfortunately, many of us don't treat it properly, and there's thorns and things that are overgrown, and we didn't tend to it, and we didn't clean things out, and we didn't plant the proper seeds. And so instead of us walking around within a Gan Eden, we're walking around inner garden that isn't so. And we have an ability, just like our body naturally cleanses itself, hopefully,
We hope.
if we're in tune to our body, and our body cleanses itself throughout the day and each day. Our mind doesn't by itself. Our mind, we have to consciously
Yes.
clean out because we don't realize our eyes see and our ears hear, and we let lots and lots of information go into our minds. And a lot of it really doesn't belong there.
Right.
A lot of it wasn't matim for Isha Yidia and doesn't help us in this world of Avodas Hashem. And so we have to on purpose go in and clean it out and make sure that what I'm keeping in my knapsack for this journey in this world for my tafted is only really what will create a Gan Eden and help me with my Avodas Hashem. So when I do Megillah, I'm basically, it's very difficult to get in touch with a neshama because you can't see it, you can't touch it. So how do I, how do I know? My mind has so much info in there. Where do I begin?
Yep.
So basically, when I work with the physical, it helps me to get in touch with where it is I want to work in the spiritual for that week or that day. So you basically find a place in your home. I like to start with the bedrooms because it's the most personal and it's just
The
mine.
space. Yeah.
Right. So my sock drawer, my toiletry kit, my night table. Night table is a huge one. It all these things also manifested in the physical world. It's like women who have headaches. If you clean out your night table drawer and you do it in the spiritual way, it could actually help everything. Every spiritual avoda I do helps me in my physical life as well. We don't realize, right? Everything because we don't live in a world of what you see is what you get. We know that there's much deeper things, just like in the Torah you could read this pshat,
Yeah.
sod, midrash, I forget.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Shot, Medrash, Sod.
There's four, I think.
Yeah, there is. No, before Sod, there's one.
Drash.
Drash.
Yeah.
Second is Drash.
So too, there's many layers of what's going on here in this world. And basically, as a Yehudi, Hashem gives us the Torah, is really a guidebook to be able to rise above the natural physical world that you could see and you could touch and delve into the world of neshamas. And so when I do a Megillah, let's say you choose to do your night table, there's a spiritual way that we do it, and we always do it with a chavusa. Because in the spiritual world, to grow spiritually, I need to do it with another person. We don't walk alone in the spiritual world.
That's so nice to know and to hear. As someone who's naturally more of alone, or even though I'm out here doing these things, I have a lot of comfort being alone. And sometimes I have to remind myself, like, you need someone who's on steady land when you're not to sort of pull you out and vice versa.
Yeah.
And having that sort of Ezek Negdo, whoever they may be, is so helpful. I have a tiny little night table. If you could walk us through it for a second, like
Yes.
when I open it up, I can sort of visualize what's in there. And I think subconsciously I chose something small on purpose. So there would be less baggage. And I like to travel as lightly as possible through this world.
Yeah.
You know, how do I begin?
Okay, first of all, it's very important what you just said. We like to travel lightly through this world because we have an Esav and a Yaakov. Esav was, do you have a tissue, by the way?
Yes,
Sorry.
everything. No sorries. Is the napkin okay?
Yeah. I just feel I need to wipe my nose. But
That's what I'm saying. It's so easy keeping that.
okay, it's so beautiful out here too. It's breezy and amazing. It's like summer on Anna. That feels amazing.
I know. This camera has a mind of its own. So we'll have to go.
So it's very important that you bring that up because we learned from Esav and Yaakov. Esav was usually Rav and Yaakov was usually Kol. And it's the world tells us to have more choice of what I could choose to wear on Shabbos, more shoes to choose from each day. So each day I can have exactly what it is.
I do that too, guys. Don't worry. Yes. I will clean it out though. I'll get rid of
More,
yes.
the more we have, the happier, the better. And Yaakov teaches us usually Kol. What I do have is what I love, right? I'd rather have 3 Shabbos outfits that each one really fits me well. I really feel comfortable. It's really my taste, the colors I love, right? Usually cold. What I have is everything to me. Um, and um, and that's really important because a Yehudi, what's healthy for nefesh Yehudi is to travel light in this world. You know, it goes with weight also. You know, like we feel it. You know, if there's a after Pesach, whatever, when I went back to yoga, like you feel it. You feel the extra matzah,
Sure.
the extra weight, and it makes it a little bit more difficult to do the move. So too in the spiritual world, the more extra thoughts I have that aren't needed, the more extra physical things that I have that aren't needed, they're just extra. They don't actually have a use for me. It's just heavy baggage that makes life more difficult for me.
Yeah.
So it's important that you say that because part of what when we do a Megillah is I get rid of thoughts that aren't helpful for me
Mhm.
and my avodas Hashem.
Mhm.
So let's say if we walk through your night table,
Yes.
so what does it look like? Okay, so remember every physical stage we do is parallel to a spiritual stage that is happening. Okay, so let's say we get to your night table, and if you're talking about things that are on top or mid drawer,
I could try you both. Just to
we'll
get
do one.
one step at a time, baby steps.
Okay,
Okay. So we can do what's on top. That's okay.
yeah,
So on top, I have a
wait, you don't have to say it's on
I'll
top.
let her just see it. It's
Yeah.
not a confessional.
No.
Oh,
The first question is when you see what's on top of your night table, is your heart open? Do you feel, ah, I love this space? Or do you feel your heart cringing a little bit, being like, it's okay, but whatever, I got to move on with my day?
I would say if I'm not being a perfectionist, I'm quite happy with it. When I get into the devils and the details, I'll be like, I should really a little bit, but it's pretty clean. Yeah.
Okay, so you're happy when you see the top of your Megirot? Because if we're happy with something, that's not a Megirot for
Okay,
us to
fine,
do.
fine. So then we need to say, I would say 80% pleased, but there's a 20%. We could do better.
Okay, yeah. So we'll do the top because really, what it is that we want to get to? Hashem tells us, "Ubacharta b'chaim." It's an interesting thing because every second I have this mitzvah, "Ubacharta b'chaim." There are people who, unfortunately, maybe are in a place where that's a tough decision for them, but a lot of us are walking around in this world, we're not thinking twice about "Ubacharta b'chaim." So what does that mean every second to be Ubacharta b'chaim? So every second, I have a choice if I want to close my heart or open my heart. My heart is my chayim, right? It pumps blood through my body. Without my heart pumping, I can't live. And that's the chayim that I could choose every second. Do I want it to be open and it flows? Or do I want to close it and the flow could get stuck? It's a little
Just felt
difficult.
that. Yeah.
So what does that mean? How am I choosing every second to be opening and closing my heart? I mean, before I learned these concepts, I didn't even realize like I had a heart I could choose to open and close, right? So basically, what we learned from Chazal is that our body works from up to down. Okay, the world that Hashem created flows from up to down. Parents are meant to teach their children, right? It goes from up to down. So it's our mind actually that controls my heart, and not my heart, my mind. See, most of us are being like, "Oh, you brought me flowers. That's so nice. You love me. I love you."
Right.
But really, you could bring me flowers, and my mind is saying something. So my mind could say like, wow, that's so thoughtful, right? That you brought me flowers. You thought of me today, and it opened my heart. And my mind could be like, it's so sweet. Why are you getting flowers?
Yeah.
Like, I don't need flowers. Like, if you really cared about me, you'd bring me a cup of coffee, right? And then I'm thinking negative of you, so my heart is closed. So this is the ubacharka b'chaim that we have every second. Why is it so important? What I think about if it's closing or opening my heart? Because basically, when my heart is open, I'm living with Hashem. And when my heart is closed, I'm kind of pushing Hashem out.
So it's like where am I spiritually? You could just find out.
Yeah.
Check in.
Yeah.
How am I thinking? How am I feeling? I sometimes think that I don't always have control over the first thought that pops into my mind. But I've noticed that if I'm aware of it just for a split second, it loses its koach, its power over me, just if I see it instead of being captured by it. You know what I mean? So if someone, let's just say, didn't bring me flowers, it could either mean that they don't love me or they're selfish, or it could just mean they don't work that way. I'm buying myself flowers as a, you know.
Um,
So there's so much, I think, power in not necessarily judging my thought at all, actually, but seeing it for what it is. And almost, I like to put a comical twist on it, like, haha, mine, thanks, you're not doing anyone any favors.
right.
How would that translate into me looking at the space that I have physically?
Okay, so we're getting there. Because I want to know why it's so important for me to keep my heart open.
Mm,
Um, we basically came to this world to bring this chelik eloki that Hashem put in me out into this world. Now, I could only do it with Hashem. Hashem is kulo tov, right? We may not understand it, we may not see it, just like a little child doesn't understand certain things their parents are doing, right? Which is in their best interest. So, but if I know that Hashem is tov meitiv, that's his stamp in this world, then I want to walk with him every second.
mhm,
I want to live with Hashem every second. I want to be able to see the world the way Hashem sees the world, right? I want to walk through this world with simcha or biava. I can only do that if my heart is open and I'm living with Hashem. Because really, things don't make sense in this world,
mhm, mhm.
right? And if I don't have Hashem, then yeah, like I could totally go to the negative
Yeah. And you
and
mean
have a closed
practical,
heart.
right?
Any little thing, even my kid making a mess or a war, like go from small to little. It's
Mhm.
all so. The minute I close, if I think negative and then I close my heart, I'm living in choshech, and then I don't see the world the way it really is, and we get mixed up. We're in tovavo and balagan, and so the whole point of doing these megirot is to create lots of places where there's choshech, turn it into or. Right? Chazal say that who's going to merit to see Mashiach? The person who's able to turn choshech into or. We all have that ability within ourselves. We all have places of a choshech where I think negative, my heart closes, I'm living without Hashem, I don't see Hashem in this picture. And if I'm able to switch it to think really the way Hashem thinks with a seichel eloki and open my heart, and then I live in awe, I live in Hashem. I see really what's going on in this world. I have a Hashem seichel, and I get to be in or, and I'm turning choshech into or.
That's like the only free choice. I think that's the ultimate
Yeah.
version of that. Wow.
So this is part of it. So we're not doing it to organize my house
Yeah.
or anything like that. We're really doing it to be medala, a place in my mind where right now it's choshech, and I want to turn it into or. I want to turn this overgrown garden into a Gan Eden
Profound.
and bring Hashem into this place.
Mhm.
So, okay. So let's say we get to this
Yes.
place. What we do is first, we remove everything, okay? Because I don't know yet which file it is in my mind, or whichever file it is, you can't clean with the dirt in there. So I have to remove everything. So all the good and the bad, whatever's there, I remove, and I start with a clean new space. Brand new, daf chadash, daf lavan, and then we could work from there.
Mhm.
Okay, so we remove everything. So imagine you're by your night table, you're taking everything off, putting it
Yeah.
on a chair next to your bed, whatever it is, and then we clean the area. It's very important to clean the area. Each physical step comes with a tefillah. Hashem. Hashem, please help me clean out any negative thought or any theory I've created that doesn't help me with my avodas Hashem. I want to be a clean, new piece of paper. Like after going to the mikvah, we're born new, we're clean. We have this opportunity every second. So we clean it, we physically clean it, or I'm spiritually davening, Hashem, help me clean out this area, this nakuda, whatever it is, I don't know yet. Okay? Then we do something very important, which we spoke about in class today a little bit, called the Hagdara.
Yes. I love this. Yeah.
We give it a definition. Without definitions, we're lost, right? So, like, imagine you're doing internship and you're learning to be a psychiatrist, and they send you to a hospital to do your intern, and nobody tells you what to do. And you're just going from place to place, like, can I help you here? Like,
Feel
can I
anxious.
talk to you there? Like,
Mhm.
and then you end up speaking to a patient and you think you're doing great. And then the doctor comes in and is like, what are you doing? He's not allowed to have a conversation. Whoops. Like, I meant to do good, like, please tell me what my job is here. But if they were to give you a defined job of what it is, you're meant to work on the fourth floor between 3 to 6 and so, then you could thrive in that area.
Yes.
Yeah, you know exactly what it is you're meant to do. So we thrive with definitions. Without a definition, also, it doesn't become a makom. See, one of our greatest words of Hashem is makom and kavod. Right? Hashem is the king. The king is very mechubad. We're all his children, so we're also mechubad. And Hashem has makom in this world. And every human being that he brought into this world has a makom. It's like when you built your home, you got a bed for each of your children. Everyone has a night table. Everyone has a closet.
Yeah.
Everyone has their physical space. So too,
It's difficult.
so too, we want to give everyone spiritual makom. It could be a child and they have physical makom, a bed and a night table and a closet, but spiritually he doesn't have makom in the home. And this is really the makom that each person is very deserving of, because each person has a part of Hashem in them.
Yeah.
So without a definition, it's not mechubad. It's not mechubad for you to show up for internship and no one tells you what your job is. You're basically floating all over the place. Like, am I important here? Right? But if someone tells you, yes, you have a job on the fourth floor, you're meant to do this, you're very important, right? Like, please come on time because we need you. It's mechubad.
Yeah.
You're right. So if I don't give a definition to a place, it basically doesn't have makom l'kavod. So it's very important. So now we're going to give your night table a definition. What would you call? What's the definition of a night table?
So in general or for my own?
In general.
In general, for me would be the place to keep things that I would need for sleep and waking up, or an intimate spot.
Exactly. Perfect. You got it.
Okay.
That's the hagdara of a night table. Okay. Now, when you respect this place, you respect the hagdara.
Yeah.
Okay. So if this area has this hagdara, I want to then mechabe that hagdara. Right. So it's not limiting. Oh, now I can't put whatever I want over there. I can't put my daughter's scrunchies and I can't put the papers from my notes from class today. It's limiting. I don't want to give it a hagdara. That's the way most our natural self will react.
Yeah.
But really, when it has a hagdara and I slowly but surely give everything in my life a hagdara, it flourishes. It's not limiting. It's actually, it's the opposite of limiting.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you say?
It's freeing.
It's freeing. It really is freeing. Because then I could also choose. I could choose what I want to put there. Because really, the bedroom of a Jewish couple is Kodesh Kodashim. And so if we want the Kodesh Kodashim to thrive in this area, then saying no to something coming in that would otherwise just come in if it didn't have a definition creates this Nekudash space.
Yes.
Yeah. Right?
That's a great argument for not having a TV or screens in your room for that, or your work or whatever for that reason.
Yeah, we want to keep it very Kodesh. So bedroom is a great place to start. Okay, yafa. So now it has this definition.
Yeah.
Now, like you said, it's a very clearly definition, right? Like we all have eyes and we all have a nose and we all have a mouth and we all have Shabbos clothing, but yours will look different than mine.
Yes.
So now it's time to bring in your personality. So this is called a hanchaya, where we slowly but surely get to know myself and where I come from. As part of learning about who I am, I need to learn from my roots, right? So in order to learn from my roots, this is for another class, but we need to learn to peel away klipo and x-ray vision into my mother's and my father's and my grandparents' Torah that they come from, because it's not a mistake that your neshama was born to your parents. Hashem doesn't make mistakes. Nothing's done.
Oh, I found that. Yeah.
So if your neshama was born to their neshamas, then there's neshama Torah that they have that they're meant to give over to you and you're meant to receive. That maybe I have a different ones from my parents.
Oh, for sure. I can bet on it.
Because my neshama needed their neshama Torah to thrive in this world. But in order to do that, we need to learn to peel away kupo. That's another
podcast
Yeah.
beginning. Okay.
So basically, now you want to learn about yourself. For me, what is my MS? What is my Ava? What for me do I use and do I like to have for falling asleep and for waking up?
Yeah.
What would go into that definition?
Okay.
So what would you put
Oh,
there?
I know. Okay, so first I have, guys, don't judge me. I have a speaker so I can have my noise machine on blast. So it's like white noise that puts me back in the womb, if you will. And it's like, I see that speaker the second I hear it turn on. Wow, it's sleep time. I have a Kindle because I like to read before bed and it's very soft light for me. Even though I like a real book, even better, but okay. My Kindle, I have my speaker, a lamp that's just ornamental that might be unnecessary, actually, that might be unnecessary now that I'm thinking about it as a small space. And then the charger for my phone so I can connect my Kindles to, you know, that's on top. That's the
Okay, so wait. Now we're going to do something called Miyun Vafrada.
okay.
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 This is very spiritual. The world was balagan tovavo. Hashem did Miyun Vafrada. He separated upper waters, lower waters, land, ocean, in order for the earth to be able to reproduce and create. Right? If all the
This is mind blowing.
yeah.
Yeah, it is to me specifically because I know you said this today, this morning when I was at your shiur, and I just kept thinking about all that separation. And you said, then you're like Hashem, and then I always remember thinking Shabbos Kodesh or Kadosh and Tihiyu, and it always had to do with being separate. And separate, like, in your words, was for the purpose of reconnecting. And to me, all of this, like, I don't know, I just had so many thoughts about all the ways that we come back together after and how separateness is just this temporary standing for us eventually to all be a had again. I love this. Yeah.
Nahon. So it's a type of havdalah that's created in order to reconnect. Right? If the water stayed as balagan, they couldn't create life. But thank God now that there's upper waters and lower waters and rain and steam, it creates a cycle called life.
Yeah.
So now we're doing something called Miyun Vafada, where we separate everything that you took off your night table. We separate it out to what belongs, if there is anything there that belongs in this Hagdara and Hanchaya of yours, of what you want to keep there, which will be something you really use, something you really love. You have to be very honest with yourself, what belongs there, and separating what either belongs in the garbage or in a different place in your house or for a different time. So we do this miyufa for that. So if you can imagine all the things you took off, now separate them into different categories.
Okay.
So what's something that is really your emes that you really want to put back there? And what is something that you want to put somewhere else maybe or in the garbage?
Yeah. Well, I think that that speaker should come out at night and during the day should be hidden because it's an eyesore and no one needs to see that. Obviously, the Kindle can be in there. I want to change my chargers from black to white, you guys, because again, it gives me everything should match, and that's kind of important.
Okay, I want to go back to the Kindle.
Yes.
Okay. It's really important in this stage to be very, very honest with himself. Okay, there's a word called emet.
Yes.
And that Mashiach is going to come b'dor yesharim, right? To a generation that is yashar, that is emestic, right? It could be generations ago, I kept the Torah and I kept mitzvot, I did things because I was supposed to, it was right for me. The generation of Mashiach, which we see already now.
Can I tell you, I think that's our children. I think that's every soldier. I have so much, I see yashras off them. I see hypocrisy, like they're brushing off their shoulders. It's tremendous.
Yeah, so this is already the Dor Mashiach. And they're only going to do something because they believe it to be true and because they really want to, right? They're going to go to shul if shul is exciting and fun for them and they love it. They're going to keep that mitzvah if they understand it and see the emes in it, right? So it's very important for us. It makes us think, like, why am I doing this? Why do I want to do this? So we want to be in the door of Mashiach.
Yes.
And I want to be very yashar and emes with myself. So just because you mentioned it before, well, I don't know. Really, I would rather a book. I want you to ask yourself, you're only allowed to put back on that night table what's 100% MS.
Okay.
So 100%, I love this. I love it being there. This is totally helpful for me for falling asleep. This is 100% what I want to be doing. Does it go back in?
Yeah. So
And
I would be, so yeah, I would say at this point in time, I would say On Shabbos, I get a paper book, and during the week, the Kindle is something that I'm whole with. Yes.
Okay.
And I was almost apologizing for it for the people listening, not for myself. I was like,
Oh,
I know everyone likes books, but yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
wow, that's very important. That's
Yeah.
very
Interesting.
a nice, honest thing to say. Okay, so the Kindles are during the week, and you have a paper book
Mhm.
for Shabbos, and you 100% totally enjoy reading off
Yes.
the Kindle.
Yes.
Amazing.
I own it now.
Okay. Exactly. Perfect. Okay, so what's your pyre? What's going back on the night table?
Okay. So we have a lamp that is, I have to ask you, it's unnecessary. It takes up a lot of space, but it's cute. I got it in IKEA. The colors are nice, but I don't use it because I've got a wall little lamp, which makes me feel like it's a bit superfluous. So maybe, and I'm thinking this together, maybe the lamp can go somewhere else and I could have like a small picture frame of my husband and I or something important to me there instead. The Kindle's going in the drawer. The speaker doesn't fit in the drawers. The speaker could stay there for now. And yeah, keep it emptier. Yeah, bare.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you have your sound
Mhm.
your sound
Myself.
speaker, which you could also ask if you want to get one that's maybe more
I
pleasant to your
do.
eye.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, so it's also important to be honest. Like, this is great. It has a great purpose. I would love something a little more smaller or
Yes.
nicer for my eye to see
Yes.
as I go to sleep. It doesn't mean you have to run out to the store and get it. It's all about learning about
Yeah.
myself. Okay, it touches upon the idea of something called a ratzon. A ratzon is really a kol eloki. It's not a taiva. Can't make a ratzon with a taiva.
Mm.
Ratzon is something very holy. It's a tzinor between me and Hashem. And a ratzon you don't have to do. But a ratzon, because it's a kol eloki, deserves kavod v'makom. So when I recognize a ratzon of mine, I'm giving it kavod v'makom. And there I don't have to actually do it. It's a ratzon of mine to get a speaker that is more pleasant for my eye to see and is a pretty ornament on my night table. So, and it gives me the sound and it gives me yofi.
How do you not do it once you know it though? Like now every poem that's going like that, I pour it onto Amazon right now and
Yes,
maybe that kind of person. But when I recognize a red zone that's deep, until it's there, I have a bit of unrest. And I wonder if that's too much.
yes. No, it's also a good thing. It's a good thing, Baruch Hashem. You realize you have a ratzon, you want to give it kavod makom, and you want it to come out in the world of Asiya is important. But we do need to give space in between each thing, right?
Less impulsive almost. Yeah.
It's like, let's say
Yeah.
your 6-year-old wakes up in the morning and wants to eat chocolate for breakfast, and they ask you for chocolate. So I'm able to see his ratzon. Be like, wow, like you want to eat something sweet in the morning and have that energy and sweetness in your mouth. It's a ratzon. It doesn't have to be done. The minute I give him that kavod v'makom, like, wow, that's so interesting. That's what you want to eat in the morning when you wake up. I don't have to. I'm not his. We're not avadim tar ratzons. So it's important to have it stand on its own. I don't, I'm, it's not means that I'm meant to give him that chocolate. I can explain to him, for his own health benefits and for his mind to work in school.
Yeah.
It would be, like we eat toast and egg for breakfast or everyone's cereal or a fruit or whatever. I don't just, I don't give my kids toast and egg for breakfast, but I'm just saying whatever
Yeah.
info it is I want to be giving over to him as his mother because I'm 43 and he's 6 and I understand the way his body works and his mind works and then say, after lunch for dessert, we could have the
Yeah.
chocolate, but I'm giving his ratzon kavod v'makom.
Yes. An awareness.
Yeah. So that's what's really important. So it's just an awareness. It's something aware. Then I'll check. Do I have the time, the money, the energy, the whereabouts to then go and bring this ratzon into the world of Asiya?
Okay. So now you're
Is another
evaluating
stage.
it before you jump in. Was
Yeah.
this one of my weaknesses? I'd like to. Yeah, that's really, really, and I think a lot of
Yeah.
it's timing. Like it's not time to get a new speaker now, but in 7 months, one day I'll wake up and I'll know the
Yeah.
time hit. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. There's a time and a place for everything. But if I recognize that red zone, that's all it needs. The red zone just needs recognition.
Wow.
So very nice. Okay, so what you want to put there is the sound maker,
Yeah.
your Kindle for the weekday, and you want to add to there a picture of you.
Yeah.
and
I
husband.
switched out a lamp that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Yeah. I
That's
figured
that.
me and my husband or a piece of art that I might like to look at something. Yeah. Yeah.
literally what will be pleasant for you to
Mhm.
see and remember
That's
as you
right.
go to bed and wake up in the morning.
So very significant moments,
Very,
bookends of my life. Yeah.
very, very, very. It was interesting actually when you sent me a link to your
Mhm.
podcast.
Yes.
So because I wanted to
Know what you're getting yourself into.
no, this was before you asked me.
Yes.
This is when I asked you to do a meditation.
Mhm.
So as I was watching, so like Persomot come up.
Yes.
So Persona came up. I wasn't used to watching podcasts, so
Yeah.
this was like new for me. As a Persona came up for like alpha or whatever, how it's so important when you wake up in the morning, those first 13 seconds when you sit up in your bed, your mind, don't look at your phone, don't look at anything. I'm thinking, oh, that's Moda'ani.
No.
Like Hashem gave us Moda'ani. Those first 13 seconds when you wake up to sit in your bed and be grateful for everything you have and let your mind be in the alpha, right? Which is interesting, which is Aleph, which is
Oh,
Echad, which is the beginning of the day. So our night table is very important.
yes.
It's a very important space.
The whole bedroom is literally
Yeah.
wow.
And so I was thinking, wow, so many shamayim
No, really.
that I
And
heard
people
that.
do all these, like, I've heard really new agey people talk about what they're grateful for. I think that every morning,
Right.
and I also thought that. Or water
Yeah.
ceremonies and I'm going through the
It
Hanukkah
all
Nefesh,
starts.
it
It
really
all
starts.
starts with the Torah.
The divine knew what was the healthiest
Yeah.
method for its creation, for
Yeah.
sure.
And again, it's not to limit us.
No.
I'll have to say modani. It's
Right,
it's in it's for my spiritual, emotional,
right.
physical benefit.
And, to circle back to
So
what you said, it's in the mind, how I feel about this whole Torah, right? So
right,
it's the narrative I'm giving myself. And if it becomes this heavy jail,
right,
that's the way I'm going to look at it. And that's the way I'm going to pass it on to future generations. Chas v'chalila. Or if it's this gift and this present, all of a sudden I'm approaching it very differently.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we did the shlav of miyun v'afada. We put back into your definition what really is your MS. You got to know yourself a little bit.
Very cool. Didn't expect that.
Yeah. And now what's important with whatever stayed out,
Mhm.
we want to give that makom kavod too. So if it's things that really belong in the garbage, go in the garbage. If it's things that are wonderful that I have no use for it in my house, I'll give to a gamach.
Yeah.
If it's things that is beautiful, but I'd love to put it somewhere else in my house,
It's a cute lamp.
yeah, I'll find a place for
Yeah.
it in my home. And
Yeah.
slowly but surely, we get to touch upon. And now when you look at your night table, tell me how you feel.
The Duyak, I feel it's more precise. I like
Yes,
that.
sir.
I like
Yes, sir. And tell me what you learned about yourself.
Hey, I caught myself trying to please someone out there who might judge something even before it came out of my mouth. I wasn't even aware I was doing that.
Wow.
That's tremendous self-knowledge, of thinking I don't people please. Yeah, but sometimes you do. And sort of like catching that for a minute and being defensive when you didn't have to be. And it's inauthentic to myself. It's being unkind to myself. If I like something, no apologies. I like that. And I like my little electronic jingle. I learned that. And I also learned what was having something that takes up space because it's nice, but it's blocking something else. And what I mean by that is to make a choice between a lamp that I'm turn on, that I thought I might, but I don't, versus a small picture of the person who matters most to me, which is my spouse, in my bedroom. That's a nice choice for
So
me. Yeah.
that's beautiful. Yeah, exactly. So what's amazing about this is now you could take this and turn it into a tefillah. Because Am Yisrael, we all know that the Jews couldn't leave Mitzrayim without Hashem's help. No Eved ever left Mitzrayim. The Jewish people couldn't leave Mitzrayim without Hashem helping them leave. So once they recognized that they want to leave and they turned to Hashem and asked Him for help, then He helped them and take them out. So now I recognize this place in me where normally I am very authentic and honest, but I found a little bit more chametz,
Yes.
a little area where I'm not so authentic, and I would like to be honest with myself and not necessarily have what someone else thinks about me
Mhm.
be what's convey what I do. Then now I turn into a tefillah
Yeah.
and I ask Hashem, help me get out of this Mitzrayim of mine and live a more yashar, authentic, honest life. And now your heart, instead of just being 80% open
Mhm.
when it sees this night label, it's 100% open. And just like you were saying, if I have a pit and it's filled with dirt, I can't fill it with diamonds, right? I first have to clean out the dirt and then I can fill it with diamonds. So as long as your night table was filled with the lamp and other things, your minds couldn't even go to putting, let's say, a picture of your husband there because it was full.
Yeah.
But the minute I clean out and I empty out, so if let's say now we bring it to a relationship, let's say I have a relationship with someone where my heart isn't 100% open there when I think about it. And I think, okay, I want to clean this out. What do I yes want to put in there? Say, I don't enjoy being my child's policeman
Yeah.
or critical. I want to clean that out. So what do I do want to put in there?
Yeah.
What can I put in there that will open my heart up in that area? So it's a very important point that you
That's
put up.
great.
So that's basically the the stages, and we always end with a tefillah. A
So it
davening
went from
question.
like it goes from physical to quite psychological and the spiritual, and it just enmeshed in each other, which is
Yeah.
it almost wasn't that deep. Look at your nightstands at home and
Yeah.
see, wow, what's the tefillah? And where do
So
we
now
have
your
it?
tefillah is where you saw
Mhm.
you were having a hard time, and you ask Hashem. So you choose from something that you learned about yourself there, where you see you
Yeah.
have a difficult time with,
Yeah.
and you want to ask Hashem to help you grow in that area and leave that Mitzrayim and go to the next stage in life that you're ready
My
for.
own words, my own text.
Your own words, your own thing. And you take that with you. I try to do a Megirah once a week.
Wow.
And then the lessons that I learned from that Megirah, it's my tefillah for the whole week.
Is this the chavrusa part, what we're doing? Having someone ask you the questions that you've been asking me?
Yeah. So if I do it by myself, because
Totally.
when you're with someone and you have to talk out loud,
Mhm.
you have to express yourself. And then things come up that I would have just brushed over if I
For
did it by
sure.
myself. Because it isn't about having an organized
Yeah.
timetable.
Yeah.
That is what you get at the end.
Well, you called me out. You said, let's go back to the Kindle about like,
Right.
Mona, where to
Right.
step on it? Yeah.
Exactly.
Where does one find a chavrusa?
Well, you want your chavrusa to be someone who knows his Torah.
Yeah.
So if you have a class in your area or a teacher in your area, and someone who's in the same mind frame of this avodas Hashem, then I'd love to be a
So
chavrusa.
I want you to be like that is
Yeah,
really
it's
lovely.
15
Yeah.
minutes. You don't need to drive to a therapist and pay
Right.
450 shekel.
Right.
It's in your own home. It's looking inside of myself. It's being honest with myself.
Mhm.
It's taking a little bit of time
Wow.
to do the in yoga, they say it's called a ujjayi. What's it called? When you go
Yes.
back to your breathing.
Yes.
So it's taking 15 minutes to go back to my center and myself and my breathing and who am I and where do I want to go on my list? Hashem,
Oh,
that's
I
me.
love that. In the Ojai breath,
Yeah.
specifically, it's this ocean sounding breath where you're exhaling and you hear it inside of you. And it's almost what you're
Mhm.
saying. It's being aware of the voices and the sounds that you make in your mind and outwards. And again, we don't see our own humps. We don't really know how we sound, and then sometimes I watch myself back when I'm with a guest and I see things that I wouldn't be aware of that I do normally. And it's very, very healthy and humbling. Sort of see you objectively of who you are and embrace all those parts. And I always wonder if there's a shortcut. I ask this to a lot of
Uh,
people, like, if, I was able to do this at 20, would it land the same way as I'm doing it much now later on in life? Or can you get an 18-year-old girl and we can do this together? And you have the self awareness that normally doesn't come till much later.
yeah.
I wonder.
Everyone in their stage in life when
Mhm.
Hashem brings them,
Absolutely.
there's women in my class who are newly married. I'm thinking, Ashrechem,
Yes.
like Ashrechem that you're learning these. I only started when my oldest was 12. And then it took me years till I was able to
Mhm.
swallow what I was learning. And I said, Ashrechem, Ashrechem, you're learning this now in the beginning of your marriage before you lose your children. But Hashem has a different plan. Some people when they're 18, some people when they're 40,
Wow.
some people.
Are your kids open to what you're teaching?
So, wow. That
Because they're like the last people who want to hear from me sometimes.
that is a really big question. So I think when I started learning, and I must have had many klipot. It was very hard for me to understand what I was learning and really internalize what I was learning and separate MS from sheker. And I think in the beginning it was very overwhelming. No one understood what I was doing. It's not what any of us grew up on,
At all. Yep.
right? It's very Hasidish, it's not like where we come from. I don't think they enjoyed it, but I think because I wasn't understanding it properly and I wasn't doing it in a proper way. Now, Baruch Hashem, I think my children are very into it and see the beauty in it. And
They must also see the proof is in the pudding. I find that when
yeah,
kids see my mom is happier or being more gentle with me, whatever she's learning or saying might be worth something, as opposed, unfortunately, to so many
yeah,
of us who are learning something and are coming home and just they forget all the lessons they learned and they're just being their not
right,
their best selves at the moment. The kids don't want to hear
right,
what's making you grow because they're not seeing it. And I think that really you need to walk the walk to have attentive
right.
listeners.
Well, that is also something very important. In the beginning, I think I was, because I was so excited
Yeah.
about it, I was trying to give it over all the time.
Yeah.
And now,
Yeah.
as I'm learning, it's interesting. The word rahmanut,
Mm,
right, comes from the word rechem.
yes.
Most of us think rahmanut means like, oh, I feel so bad.
Yeah.
Come, let me make you.
Yeah. And I don't want you
Feel
to feel bad for me. It
right.
doesn't feel good.
Really,
Yeah.
rahmanut comes from the word rechem, which what does a rechem do? Right? When we're pregnant and we have the baby inside of us, in the beginning, the baby's so tiny, our rechem takes up most of the space. And as this baby starts to develop arms and legs and ears and eyes and fingers and takes up more space,
Yeah.
our rechem takes up less space. And I think really the wiser we are, this is very, very difficult. I'm actually in the middle of this avoda right now. Um, the less we speak and the less we intervene and the more we're on the sidelines and let our children um, develop and figure out, like if they come with an issue, Ema, this happened and this happened and that happened and happened.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm very wise. I'm 43. I've been through life. I could give them lots of advice
Yeah.
right away, but it's actually not helpful for
No.
them. And the more I stay back and I let them figure out this issue, why am I upset? Why is this bothering me? Although it's very uncomfortable, it's like the caterpillar in the cocoon, like it's very uncomfortable. But at the end, they end up becoming a butterfly instead of me right away telling them, you should do this and you should do that. And
Right.
that could be so, it's actually very difficult because naturally we love our children, we want to protect them, we want to help them, but we're doing the opposite.
Yeah.
And so this is only something that I've been tapping into
It's very
lately.
godly because I feel like Hashem waits in the shadows for us to come to our own conclusions very much.
Yeah.
And I do feel like women have that ability. I'll tell you that on Yom Kippur, this used to frustrate my kids to no end, but I didn't do this to be holy. I would do a kind of Steve to give everyone a break from me. Okay. And for 25 hours, I'd be like, oh my God, here she goes. And I noticed that I had so many extra words that were not necessary for every scenario. And I'd be fasting, so I'd already be a little bit weak. And I'd be watching the kids have a dynamic or argue or something I disagree with, or put that away and clean that up. And I would notice how much I waste. And of course, the lesson's lost by the next morning. However, I look forward to those moments of just let the house, nothing's going to fall apart without you for an hour
Right.
or whatever it is. Yeah, it's really hard.
It's very difficult. It's really an avoda that I'm working on now.
Mm,
Um,
less is more.
yeah. Yeah. It's funny that you say that. I've never done a tonic deboard before,
Mhm.
but this past year I did what's it called? The clear braces.
Oh, Invisalign.
Yeah, Invisalign.
Your teeth
So
look good.
thank you.
Okay.
That's what he was. The first weekend though, he gave them the orthodontist gave it to me on like a Thursday. And I didn't pay attention when I was in his office that it was like sharp the edges and it was too long and it was like cutting my mouth. I was trying to be like really good about it, keep it as my mouth was all cut up. That Shabbos. And I could barely speak and I could barely eat. And also at the end of the Shabbos, I had the same feeling as you like, whoa, there were so many things that I would have loved to like say or done or yelled out or even eaten. And like, and I couldn't because it was painful for me. And I had to just like be quiet or not eat. And like, and you saw it all work out.
Literally.
And or even if you didn't see it all work out, because sometimes you only see the happy result
Yeah.
after much time.
Yeah.
It's not always so immediate, but it was, yeah, I saw how many words and how many times we speak up where we think we're helping, but really we're like
Yes.
creating
It's
more of a
worse,
balada.
or trying to control
Right.
situations. You know, in the
Right.
mornings before your shiur, we do it at our neighbor's house. In the morning, my husband and a few of the guys do like a meditation right beforehand. And I came straight from there to come sit down.
Wow.
And right afterwards, everyone shares. And this thought keeps jumping up at me. And it's a line from a song, from not a Jewish song, but a band that I really like. And it says, I've got something to say, but it's all vanity. It's all vanity. And after the meditation, they go around describing what everyone felt. And I started to realize also I'm working on it is what I'm about to say is not going to be helpful for anyone. You can't even gonna be like, why didn't I feel that? No, it's always a downer. And it's like, it's more of the, you just have to be very intentional and realize what those words are about to do. And I think
Right.
for me specifically, if you're astrological at all, I'm an air sign, which is very much talking and using my words for good and not good, or using my words to express myself. And it could be humility or ego. And only I really know. The people can feel it, but only I really know. And to be a bit more intentional. And to me, that's one of, it's so easy to talk, just let it all hang out that I find it to be so much more difficult than looking for an Avera to do. You know
Right.
what I mean? So I do think that
Yeah.
that's work that is, you might never see the results, but I'm on the path. I'm
Yeah.
walking at least. I keep stumbling, but I'm walking. And I think that's
It's
it.
interesting. I mean, it's a Pirkei Avot, like Siag L'Chachma
Mhm.
Shtika.
Yeah.
Because then we actually create a space where I could hear you,
Yeah.
not just like what I was planning to say to help you,
Mhm.
right? So if I have a child or a husband or someone who comes and they say something, and if I just jump right away to solve the problem or save the day, I kind of lashtik then. But if I'm able to be quiet, then I get to hear them more. What is it you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Why is it that you're saying it? Why is it that bothers you? Or even if I don't ask any questions, but just gives them the space to be able to just say that and move on. Like,
Look, I moved.
that's
I
not figure it out.
frame came in. You made space for something
Right.
else to put in.
Exactly.
That's so powerful.
Yeah.
Efrat, sitting with you and talking to you has been such a treat. We could sit here for
I
hours.
know. I know. I want to learn so much about you.
Oh,
So we both been living around Anna for years. I mean,
we
as
just
a sex.
discovered each
I
other.
know.
And I also think that when two people come together, I never like to do an interview. I think when two people have either something to share or friction to share or whatever it is, something new is born from it. And that's its
Mm.
own beautiful thing. And again, it's giving people time to talk, not interrupting each other with our own better thoughts. They're never better. They're just different. And I do think that everyone out there, I'm sure you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. It's really us.
For me,
Thank
this
you.
is for me. Yes, thank you, Efrat.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for listening.